said, people care. America cares. You're not going to be forgotten. People in the world.
See, I'm going to say something that's so controversial to many of you out there, you're going to be triggered, right? And I get into this with a lot of my conservative friends. I have a lot of Christian conservative people out there who confuse, and I say they're confused. They confuse biblical scripture with the injustice that is being perpetrated by a country or a nation. They read words like Israel, and they read things that says God's children, and they have all these weird preconceived notions, and I call it a notion, that somehow it's wrong for you to speak up against one group of people hurting another group of people, right? I am not disputing the fact that this country has a right to defend itself and its borders. That I give you credit where credit is due. What we are saying is that we are watching and witnessing that you are using a certain narrative to kill innocent people. And when we try to bring up this observation to you, you hide behind something called anti-Semitism. You hide behind it. And I have to say, you hide behind it as if to make it okay to do what you're doing. You are not free from scrutiny just by throwing out that word. In the same way that you control the populace by saying, if you believe that these false flags that have been perpetrated on American soil were done by our government, you are a conspiracy theorist. If you believe that somehow our government would develop a virus to shut down the entire world and manipulate the public with mass hysteria, you are somehow considered anti-vaxxer or anti-something. Do you see the pattern here? Every time somebody is doing something wrong, we push a narrative that makes people feel guilty or ashamed to speak up against something that we can clearly see as wrong. And that's all I am saying. When I argue a point with someone, I am not invalidating your right to exist. I am not invalidating your right to defend yourself. I am not invalidating your ideological stance. What I am saying is that you also have to consider that there is nuance and complexity in the world. And if someone is saying that you are doing something wrong, in the same way that you could look at me and say, Mahesh, you're doing this wrong. Mahesh, you're doing that wrong. Mahesh, I don't like this. It's the same thing for you. Whether you're a Jew, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, whatever, American, Arabic, right? European, Russian, Chinese, whatever you call yourself, you are always going to be under scrutiny by other human beings who feel that you may not be doing something that is just humane or right. That's all we are saying when we argue or we have a debate. It is, why is it somehow okay for us to turn a blind eye to put a bullet or drop a bomb on another group of human beings with a broad brush and not question it and not ask why and not investigate it and not inquire about it? And I'm so happy that people like Tucker Carlson, who was a huge voice in the conservative movement, is speaking up about this. Candace Owens speaking up about this. People like myself and others out there speaking up about this, right? Stop hiding behind things to protect yourself. Just because you say that it's anti-Semitic, it's no different from when you accuse the woke movement from hiding behind calling you, what's the word they use? They call you a Nazi, they call you a tyrant. They have all these different labels and pejoratives they use to shut you down. How are you different? How are you, the Christian conservative, different from the woke movement if you can't observe yourself or look at yourself or question something? And then the last thing I want to say is this. One of the biggest problems we have in humanity today is the feeling of feeling special, that you are above another group of people. It was what was making it easy for one group of people to enslave another group of people, because you have to see them as inferior, less than, animalistic, for you to feel okay to do and justify what you do against those humans. So I ask you, if you buy into that narrative, right? Whatever race, culture, creed you are on this planet, what are you doing? What are you contributing? How are you making the earth a better place? Right? And no one's free from this. I want you to think, no one's free from this. You are not different or special. We just as a species have to be willing to embrace that. Listen, I could be wrong, or maybe I am wrong. That's it. It's that simple, and we could solve a lot of problems, people. It's that easy. But no one's willing to do that. Everyone wants to be right and kill everybody and shed blood in the street. And it's a sad thing about our species, man. The gurus, the sages, the saints, Christ, all of them were right, man. We just can't figure it out, you know? God bless, man. I hope I got through to somebody.